In this episode, I'm going to show you an alternative way to put a border around your images. If you take a look at this one, it has a nice white border around it. This method will allow you to put white, black, or any other color, and you can do it all just doing an export without going into the print module first. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do is go out on the web to the photographer's toolbox and download the Lightroom Mogrify 2 plugin for Lightroom. When you get there, there's a button for it, so just click on that. But also note, just underneath it, it says that you need to have Image Magic to go along with that. So that's going to be step number 2. So let's start with step number 1 and download the plugin. So just click on that, and we're going to save that to our downloads. Now that that's done, we can go and click on this one. And that will take us to the Image Magic download page. I'm doing this on a Windows machine, so I just click on the latest version and save that. Once you have them downloaded, go to your downloads directory and you'll find the 2 files that we just downloaded. One's a self-executing executable that will install the Image Magic, and the plugin itself is a zip file, so that will need to be unzipped. So we'll start with unzipping that, and we can do that simply by right-clicking on it and going extract all, and we'll put it in that same directory and say extract. And there it is. So this is the plugin file that will be added to Lightroom as a plugin. The next step is to install Image Magic. And so all you have to do for that one is double click on it, and that will start the install process. And it will come up with the install script. Of course, you have to accept their license agreement and say next. And read all of that and say next. And then you have some options on what to do here. And I'm just going to take the default, which is the first 3. And next. Gives you a summary of what's going to happen. Say install. Okay, and read some more, say next, and you're finished. Okay, now we're ready to install the Lightroom plugin and set it up to use during export. So the easiest way to do that is to use the plugin manager. There's a couple of different ways to get to the plugin manager, but the easiest is under the File menu on Windows. Go File, down to Plugin Manager, and that will bring up the plugin manager. And what we want to do is add a new plugin. So you click on the Add button. Now, you need to remember where you saved that Lightroom plugin, and if you recall from this exercise, I had mine in my downloads directory. So I'll go there, and it was inside this file folder, and there it is. So it's the Lightroom Mogrify 2 Lightroom plugin. So this is it here. So I just select that and say select folder. And now that plugin is up and running. So if you register that plugin, then you get unrestricted rights to it. If you don't register it, you're limited to the number of uses in a day. So it's up to you. It's a donation-based plugin, so you can give them as much or as little as you want. So basically, there's nothing you need to do once you've added it. So you can just click on Done. Okay, the next thing we need to do is add that plugin action to one of our export presets to create the border around the image. So we do that by going to the export module, and I just clicked on it down here, but there's other ways to get to it. And what you want to do is, if you already have an Instagram preset like I do, just click on that and it'll bring up all of the actions that were going to happen for that particular preset. Now, if I wanted to modify one of my others, then I would select those and it changes that to those defaults. What you want to be careful of is that you don't click on the checkbox, because if you do that, it locks this information and you're unable to make any changes. So be sure and not check that, but have that preset selected so now we can modify it. Now you notice down here in the post-process actions that there's some new actions as part of this Lightroom Mogrify 2 plugin that we just added. And what I want to do is add some inner borders, meaning that it adds the border to the inside edge of the image and not add it to the outside. So if I select that and then say insert, it will add that action, and you'll see it down here at the bottom. It will add the action to the export preset. But there's something that you have to do before you can modify or any of that will work, is you have to connect it to the image magic. And so this is where you do that. So you have to find the path of where your image magic got installed. And I've already done this once, so it is showing it here. But if it's empty, you're going to have to go and find that. And typically it gets put in your program files. So you would click on choose, and then you would go to, again, this is Windows, so it'd be, Windows with a C drive, program files, and we're looking for image magic, and you can see it here. So you go into image magic, and what we're looking for is the executable. So it's going to end in an exe. So if we scroll down for a while, there's a D draw. That's not it. There's image. Here's image magic icon. We're getting close. Image magic display. Here we go. Magic exe. So that's the one that you want to select. And say select. And it puts that in here. Now your Lightroom Mogrify plugin is associated with and can pass the information on to Image Magic, which does the work. So it seems a little convoluted, but it works. Okay, now you can go down and set the parameters for the type of border you want. So I'm going to do a white border. Like I said, you can do all the different colors from white to black and anything in between. And I want identical borders all the way around. You have the option to have them different sizes on each side if you want. And I'm just doing it 2 pixels. The inset means that we'll actually move the border in from the edge before it starts it. So it'll actually put a border not quite on the edge, but moved in, however you want to do it. So right now, I just want it right on the edge, and I want it 2 pixels wide, and I want it white, and I want it 100% opacity. Okay, once you have all that selected and you've made the integration between ImageMagick and the plugin, we've got all of our settings there. We need to save that as a preset. So the way you do that now is you go over here to the preset box and click add. And I'm going to call this Instagram with white border. And create. So now I've got a new Instagram preset, one with a white border, and I can say done. Now if I had something already selected, which I did, or if I wanted to export something, then I could have said export. But now that I've got it saved as a preset, I can pick multiple number of images and have it all done at once, or I can just pick one at a time. So let's just pick one. So here's an example here, and we'll right click and go to export. And now you see we've got this new preset that says Instagram with white border. So I'm going to click on that, and it will export that image with a white border. So it popped it up here, and it's already highlighted, so it's the highlighted one. So if I double click on that and bring it up, there it is with a nice white border around it. So try that out. It works pretty good. You can adjust the size and the color and so on. Add it to any of the presets that you want where you export your images, and have fun with it.